Hi, Kiran. I'm so excited for this conversation because I know when I invited you to talk on the podcast, you said before you joined the program, you used to look at the people on my sales page and think, could that ever be me? And I know that it's a real exciting moment that, yes, it definitely can be you. So please do share a bit about you and who you help in your coaching.
This is actually really exciting because it feels like a real milestone moment from where I was this time last year. So it's really exciting. So I specialise in coaching women and now men who are rebuilding careers after working within a toxic workplace. I qualified and it's going to be for my third year now, and it was within year one I qualified and I thought, yeah, okay, what I need. I had an entry on a coaching website and I've got one or two clients come through, and it was just very much session by session. Couldn't really get much momentum. I couldn't really pin sort of my clients down. I worked in corporate for 18 years, had a really tough time, and I decided to leave. And I thought, right, I'm going to retrain. And then thought, okay, I don't know what happens next. I did take on a part-time job because there wasn't much money coming in. And then within the first year of qualifying, nothing really that much happened, but I knew I wanted to do more. And on this coaching website where people could just see what I do and then book with me, that was very slow. And then I started to listen to your podcast. And she did download a couple of your things. And I thought, I feel like there's big gaps in what a business should look like. It's not just enough to go, oh, okay, I've got an ICF qualification. So that sort of started to be very much on my mind and thinking, I don't know what to do next. I remember speaking to you and just things started to make sense. So, oh, okay. And it was just the word niche. And that was what kind of just blew it apart because I didn't have a niche. My niche was just that I coach people and I can pretty much do anything you want. And I didn't understand the importance. So I was like, okay. And I couldn't get it out of my head that there's parts missing, which then took me to the point where I was looking at the business of coaching for quite a few months. I was looking at the case studies and how they've gone from feeling exactly how I felt in that time to actually building a credible coaching business. And I'd thought to myself, yeah, obviously not really come from anything. So I don't think that's going to really happen for many. But I thought, how have you got so many that are actually getting to that point? It was the fear of investing in myself because I'd already invested so much into becoming qualified. I'd already walked away from a job. I kind of felt, can I really invest anything more into this? No, I can do it myself. I can do it. And then it just, there was nothing happening. So I thought, "Do you know what? I'm just going to do this for the sake of my own. I've come this far. I'll just do it." And it was the best feeling, honestly. The gratitude journal, I sort of took a look at it today, actually, before I called, just to remind myself of that first entry and sitting there. And I remember just before I was about to start your course, and it was very much of, this is the first day of the rest of your life. Yeah. And it feels like just grown so much to the point that I feel almost so excited to be here with you now and to say, yeah, I've gone from feeling like that to feeling like this. It's a real thing. It's not just and like you say, on it's not hype. It's not the hype at all. It's a real achievable thing.
Oh my goodness, so many tears I've got over here. It's just amazing to hear it said like that. Like you described there, and often think, oh, that can't be possible for someone like me.
Yeah, and that's the hardest bit. And I think looking at all the people that are successful, I think, well, I'm a million miles from that. I'm never going to be able to. I don't look that way. I don't, yeah, like you say, I don't have all that background. I don't have, so yeah. And that's what makes this moment special because it is achievable. You've just been supporting me the whole time. All the times when it's just like, it just picked up on when I just didn't have the confidence to really do stuff. And that's where you just always have such a big part of my life. You are my journey, and you always will be that big part of it. So it's quite emotional, actually.
Yeah, oh, totally. So I've just had to edit out a load of my crying of this episode, if you're listening now, because I was just overwhelmed really by what Kiran shared, especially that feeling that so many of us have that success is for other people and it's not for us, because that's exactly how I used to feel. So it was really emotional to hear that Kieran felt the same, yet now sees that she is one of those successful people. So thinking back, I know there's been a few pivotal moments for you in terms of, I suppose, niching, which you've talked about. And there were also lots of shiny object moments when I suppose you were searching for this magic cure that was going to make everything works. So should I write a book? Should I do this? Should I do that? Versus kind of work through the process. So tell us more about those shiny objects and what was helpful in the end.
Yes, I think having the portal was the absolute structure that I needed and didn't realize I needed. And it was getting through all those moments of thinking, right, I don't know how to get my niche. It was actually quite a cathartic moment building my niche because I was tapping into all these different things and ideas and then being drawn back to the toxic workplace stuff. I kept drawing back to where my passion was and what I had been through. And I think that was a really big moment because I realised I hadn't wanted to really face that time. I'd kind of just left it there and not addressed it. So I took quite a lot of time to get past all of those feelings that I felt with it. But once I got more comfortable talking about it and then being able to build a lead magnet, which I found was incredible, it kind of just snowballed really from all these different things. I went for like a lead magnet and then thought, right, okay, I need my website. And when I first joined, I didn't have a LinkedIn profile at all. I was on social media, so I had no LinkedIn. And the portal helped me build my LinkedIn profile. But it was it was the other part as well that, and also the positive intelligence part. That was such a great part of the business of coaching where you had the self-doubting moments that you've got it just on your phone to be able to hear it and to do it. But those shiny moments were, I think now looking back, it was just really my fear of not putting myself out there. And that's kind of the thing, Joe. I feel like I've been fighting you this whole time. And then I got it. The visibility part, all the calls, and I'm like, well, maybe if I just go and think about writing a book, no, actually, maybe let me just do an Instagram course. No, let me just do a LinkedIn course. And it's like, no, stop. You're
Wow.
doing all of these things to stop yourself from being visible. And you've absolutely maintained it right from the very start. It's about the importance of being visible. And something that I just did not want to do. That's why I didn't have a LinkedIn profile. Those turning points have then built my confidence in talking about what I do, is getting myself out there. And it's actually quite funny because you've always said, and I've never really got it until this year, but you've said about just, it doesn't have to be completed. We have to be completely perfect and finished. Just get it started and then get it out there. I've just stopped because spending so much time on my website last year, I just hid myself away. It's like, I can't do this, I can't. But yeah, it was just focusing on the wrong thing. So I wouldn't have to then actually address the parts that were missing. So keeping me completely focused the whole time was the portal, but also it was the community. It was the weekly calls. I mean, the weekly calls are just amazing because it's those ones where you're held accountable. My favourite ones out of all of them were the CEO calls because it would be after the kids went back to school and you're a little bit out of sync and you go, right, okay, I'm going to now set my 6-week focus and I'm going to put it on the group. So that keeps me accountable. It's those things that kept me on track and stopped me from going, oh, I might just try this. And actually coming to you, Joe, going, oh, is it worth, especially with the LinkedIn thing, only recently I said to you, oh, is it worth doing this LinkedIn accelerator course? You were so honest and so generous because you were like, actually, I've done one of those and this is what I've learned.
Yeah.
And actually saved me so much money of doing that investment. And you just and just shared everything that you found, which I could go and implement into my own business. So it's just learning all the time. And there's always just new stuff on the portal and your chat box as well, which are incredible.
Good.
So so they are so good for those moments when you just like, I don't know what to say yet, get you over the line. Is having the support to get you over the line, I think is my biggest thing. And I found it all within the business of coaching because there's been loads of self-doubting moments. There's been loads of, I just can't. But now I've promised myself and I'm keeping to it. Or shiny objects.
Oh, love it. So I can't wait to hear what's different as a result.
So from how I started, from just having one or two clients, just once or twice whenever they felt like it, I think a really big turning point for me was the start of this year, Joe, when you ran the sales sprint. And it was just the most perfect time because I made a promise to myself, no more shiny objects. We're just going to actually just go all in. As a result of committing to staying visible throughout those 6 weeks and the support for the portal, I managed to secure a corporate contract, which I didn't even think were going to be possible. So I signed a 3 month and group coaching. And there's also now some talk about extending that into one-to-one coaching, which is like quite exciting. I also, through the sales sprint, I managed to secure 2 people for my signature coaching package. It will completely prove the point of just put it out and then work it out. So that works really well. I'm an associate coach as well because I decided last year to also, as my confidence was building, I approached one of the clinics that's quite local to me where they have different therapists. And I said, you haven't got a life coach on your directory. Would you be interested in having one? So now I work out of the clinic as well. And my most exciting thing as well that I've achieved this year so far is that I've launched my community coaching. I dedicate in a week and I give free coaching to people that don't really know much about coaching, if they feel a bit stuck in their career, they're not sure what to do. And it feels quite nice talking to sort of different people and it's really building my knowledge as well in how to make my program stronger. So yeah, it feels like it's busy now.
I think I remember you coming about that associate role and you were going to say no to it. Do you remember that? Was that one or is that a different one? Why would you say no to this? It sounds like a great opportunity.
Yes, of course, Joe. I came to you. That was in the summer. Yeah, I remember because I said, right, just before we break, Joe, I've had somebody ask me about this, and you took me through the absolute pros of it. And I was so I even think about that. Yeah, keep the lights on while I'm getting the. So yeah, I was very ready to go. No, it's not really my niche, and you were like, no, do it.
Nearly said no because you're like, it's not within my niche. I'm like, no one needs to know what goes on behind closed doors. This is like money coming into your diary without you having to work for it while you build your niche and business.
See, this is it, Joe. And that's been a really massive thing that I've learned from this whole experience. That it's about doing things to keep the lights on as well.
Huge congrats on the corporate client and 2 people in your program due to the sales sprint. And like you say, having a sale, there's nothing better to actually make you do the work. So it's just the best way to build anything. Sell the thing, prove the concept that people want it. And then you can mess around for, well, you can't mess around for as long as you like, because guess what? These clients are actually needing what you offer.
And also, Joe, when I came and spoke to you about doing the market research part as well within that sales sprint, how I had some feedback. So actually, you should maybe offer some more sort of career support for your second, because I've got 3 different tiers of what I offer as well. And you were like, yeah, absolutely. Try doing this thing with the CV part and try, building it in this way. So just so generous with how much knowledge you give, Joe. And that's the only way that I've been able to build all these stepping stones. So making some real yeah, real progress in what I'm offering.
Yeah, well, as I say, you are completely to credit for everything that you've built because you've overcome all of the fears. You've taken the action, you've showed up, you've asked for help when you've needed it, you've implemented the help.
And the fact that you're so open to sharing everything, sort of go on calls and you'd be like, oh, yeah, I had this. And you will just share it. Oh, I had this week. And it's all these things that kind of make you feel that, okay, yeah, I hadn't even thought about it. And I think that's the thing. You give so many of those, oh, I hadn't even thought about that moment. So, yeah, and it's those that you wouldn't get on your own.
That's it, because everything's changing so quickly. We need to keep up. That's so good to hear. What is your biggest takeaway from the program?
Is I've got a coaching business. Having community is so important. Having support. Like, for example, I just set up my LinkedIn. I put my first post out and I messaged on the Slack and said, oh, I'll put my first post out. And everybody was like, yeah, oh, go on. It's all those moments. I wouldn't have had that on my own. If you're having that self-doubting moment thinking, oh, I don't really want to invest any more into this business, is it really worth it? I think it is. I've taken the time to qualify. I actually wish that after anybody qualifies, they get your course. That should be the next logical step that you go into because nobody tells you how to set up a business. There's no part of the coaching training that I had spoke about a niche, didn't speak about how to set up, didn't speak about all the different the social media parts, even had to set up a LinkedIn profile, which I had no idea. And it was all on calls that we've had, portal, it's all these things that actually you can't do by yourself. No, I always think, "Oh, I should have done this 6 months ago. I would have been way more ahead by now. Why didn't I just do it earlier?" But it's definitely the support is really needed when you're starting out. It's just so many things that you offer just home. I think it's just that the support, the community, the portal, which keeps you completely structured and regimented almost when you're ready to go and explore something shiny. It's like, no, get back and do the portal. So, yeah, there's just so many different things that I would never have achieved on my own because I would have known.
Thank you so, so much, Kiran. What's next for you?
I think definitely going to work a lot more on my social media now this year. I think that's definitely one for me because it almost, I had this like thing where I was thinking, how can I keep talking about it when I haven't really had that many clients? But now I've got the corporate side and I've actually got my signature solution working. I've got clients. I feel like I've got a lot more to talk about and almost keeping in the sales sprint because of all the information you gave us to do that. I feel like I can keep implementing the sales sprint.
I wish I hadn't called it a sprint because it is literally a long-term strategy we need to keep using in our business.
Having those tools mean I can keep just tapping back into it. And that's why I'm just so grateful that I can just go, oh, okay, right. This is slowing down a little bit now. I know where I am with it. Right, let's try and get the next part out. And then I can just tap back into these strategies, which are now set. So it feels quite exciting to keep building. But no more shiny objects. I'm just going to keep pushing with what's working for the moment. I feel that the confidence is just really growing, which is just lovely. Because I didn't think I'd get to this point.
So, so exciting. I was about to suggest YouTube for you, but now I'm presenting another shiny object. But ever since we first met, I'm like, you're going to go on YouTube. That's what you're going to do. So there's my premonition for you.
Yeah. I keep thinking, do you know what? Videos are going to be my next thing. I'm just going to be just talking straight to it. And now I've got over almost myself, really. I'm just like, yeah, just do it. And business and coaching and judo, along with Lisa, who's amazing, and Jackie, you've all made me quite fearless.
Wow.
I'm quite fearless now. I was so scared of everything when I first joined. So I feel a bit fearless. I never thought I'd get to this point.
Oh, so, so amazing, Kiran. I'm so happy for you. Would you recommend the program? And if so, who to?
Oh, in a heartbeat, absolutely. It feels like it's for all stages of your coaching business. I wish I had it as soon as I qualified because I wouldn't have spent the whole year just being, what do I do now? But also, even further down the line, because things are changing so much, the time with coaching and with the things like AI, which you're so in touch with, is ahead of the trends. It's those kind of things to go, right, okay, do I need to go in and now build my business in a different direction? I feel for everybody who's got a coaching business out there and finding themselves of, I don't really know how to secure clients on a steady. I think this is the steady best way to bring them in, and it's not just a quick win. I think that's the biggest thing because there's so many things. People even drop into my LinkedIn DMs all the time promising the quick wins. Like, oh, if you do this, sign up to this. There are no quick wins. And I think business of coaching shows you all the ways to go, right, start from here. And those wins will be all the time for you. They will keep coming. It will come in different ways, but you're comfortable with the wins and you're comfortable how to get there. So, but I definitely feel that anybody who is starting out that's worried about any further investment, and it may feel a little bit, but it's honestly the best thing for yourself and your business. If you've spent all the time and the effort to qualify, you now need the parts to back your business up. So, and this is it.
Oh, love it. Yeah, I totally agree. People seem to spend all of that money and time on the first part, yet won't invest anything in the
Yeah.
second part, or they'll say, I just got to wait to get clients. People don't realize that your confidence goes so low. So essentially, you're a year behind where you are right now in your journey. And then the pressure builds of like your husband saying, when are you going to make money from this? And your family. And then you're like, oh my God, forget the whole thing versus just make this a priority to build your business.
And definitely I found with the confidence part as well, that was really a year after qualifying, the confidence had gone to business coaching because it's got everything in there, everything that you need. And even the little bits you hadn't even thought about, they're in there.
Thank you so, so much, Kiran. You've been a joy to work with. And I'm so, so happy for you to continue the journey and create even more amazing success.